Focus on what you're doing so you don't trip.
With 3 kids,
Boots, jacket.
the morning drill is always a juggle.
Does everyone have their lunch bags? I'm not sure you should zip up. You're going to be hot.
But working from home means Iku Indwomo has one less ball in the air, and she doesn't miss it at all.
Okay, go in. Working moms constantly feel guilty about how they're juggling things. That guilt is no longer there, so I'm guilt-free. That's a big deal.
Indwomo is a director of project management at Lighthouse Labs, a tech education company. As a senior level employee based in Montreal, she's used to getting the job done and now used to making it work with the rest of her life.
You know, I could pick them up from school, give them dinner, and then if there were still some things that I needed to wrap up, I could still wrap those up, right? And work into like 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. if I needed to take some hours off during the day.
The pandemic has proven working remotely works, and with every wave, the great return to the office seems to have reached the point of no return. In poll after poll, the majority of people say they don't want to go back to the office full-time, and many are willing to walk away from a job that demands it.
I think that the desire for autonomy is universal because it gives you a sense of control over your life, and that reduces the uncertainty of our lives. And the pandemic has made the impact of uncertainty so salient that the desire for autonomy, I think, has been really awakened, even in people that didn't really have it front and center.
All right, we're here in person. Yeah! Oh my God.
Tiziana Casharo is a professor of organizational behavior at the University of Toronto.
So it's a give and take type.
She says employers have to manage with a new pandemic perspective.
They face a big challenge because the pandemic has given their employees a taste of what it means to have more autonomy. And so leaders have to be very thoughtful about what it means to tell their employees, no more. Now we tell you, again, where you're going to work and how you're going to work and when you're going to work, versus allowing them some leeway, some flexibility to decide for themselves.
At Choice Properties, nearly 200 people worked at this location before the pandemic, but most won't be coming back full-time.
How do you envision the office to look like?
Once we move to hoteling, people won't be leaving their personal belongings at the desk.
Anna Radic is in charge of operations and leasing for Choice Properties. She says people will be able to book a desk on the days they come in, and lockers will be provided for personal items.
So we'll have every workstation outfitted with a docking station, 2 screens, keyboard, so sort of uniform equipment so that anyone can plug in and work.
Radic says she herself likes coming in every day, but says that's not the case for most employees, including new potential hires.
What are you hearing in terms of what people want?
They want flexibility. They absolutely do, but they also want to be able to come to the office. You know, being together, it gives you, opportunities that are much more difficult to create in a virtual environment. That sort of spontaneous collaboration, that mentorship that takes place, between senior and junior employees.
Here for my rapid test.
Mentorship is important to Angelica Muere and Anton Gravitz, who, like all Choice employees coming in, are vaccinated and undergo regular rapid tests.
It was like the bare bones version of that. And
For them, the office is more than just a place to work.
I think I learned half of what I learned just listening to other people talk on the phone. You just pick up a lot of cues, the language that they use. I am still in the beginning of my career, and I just don't want to miss an opportunity to learn from people more experienced than me.
Muere commutes 1 hour each way, but says that time can be a mental health break.
When you're constantly working from home every single day of the week, there is no real clock out time. There's no real clock in time. It all kind of blends. And if you're lucky enough to have your own office on a different floor in your home, then I can see how that can be a lot easier to navigate and separate work life and home life. But for the most part, I think my generation is working in small spaces, and that's a real challenge for us.
So first of all, read what it says.
Indwomo says she's glad her company will remain largely remote because she can't see herself losing the balance she's struck now.
Before the pandemic, not a lot of organizations offered remote work or autonomy around your work, even if you had to go to the office. But being able to do that now has helped me realize what value I add to my children's lives by being available.
And for many, there's no going back, because in many ways, the future of work is already here. Joanna Rumeliotis, CBC News, Toronto.